Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to CBS News, U.S. inflation cooled more than expected in June, easing to an annual rate of 3.5% down from 4.2% in May, according to Labor Department data released on Tuesday. Economists polled by FactSet had predicted a higher annual rate of 3.9%. The cooling trend was primarily driven by declining energy costs, highlighted by a sharp 9.7% drop in gasoline prices in June compared to the previous month. This marked the largest single-month decline in gasoline prices since April 2020. May is now widely anticipated to represent this year's peak inflation reading. Furthermore, core CPI, which excludes volatile food and energy sectors, rose at an annual rate of 2.6%, down from 2.9% in May. Despite the positive report, experts caution that these figures do not capture the recent flare-up in geopolitical tensions between the U.S. and Iran. Following President Trump's announcement of a military blockade and shipping fees in the Strait of Hormuz, Brent crude prices surged to over $86 a barrel. Analysts warn that if these tensions escalate further, they could revive inflation risks and raise the odds of interest rate hikes in the near future. According to the news outlet ISA, North Korea's economic windfall from exporting weapons and deploying troops to Russia has neared 80% of its annual gross domestic product, GDP. Analysis by South Korea's National Security Strategy Institute and other bodies estimates that North Korea's arms exports to Russia from the summer of 2023 to the end of 2025 reached up to $13.78 billion, when combined with over $600 million received as compensation for deploying troops starting in the autumn of 2024. The total accounts for more than 80% of North Korea's nominal GDP of $17.2 billion troops. Despite deepening its economic reliance on Russia, Pyongyang is reportedly shifting its diplomatic strategy in anticipation of the end of the war in Ukraine. Experts, including defected former North Korean diplomat Ri Il-gyu, point out that North Korea's strategic value to Russia will decline once the conflict concludes. Pyongyang is therefore pivoting toward Beijing, recognizing that China's involvement is essential for future normalization talks with the United States. Earlier this month, North Korean Premier Park Tae-sung visited China to highlight the close relationship. According to a report by Phoenix New Media, Meta has announced an additional investment of $40 billion into its massive data center campus in Richland Parish, Louisiana. This expansion aims to boost the facility's computing capacity to at least 5 gigawatts, GW. With this update, Meta's total investment in the site will exceed $50 billion, building upon an initial $10 billion commitment made in December 2024. Spanning nearly 4,000 acres, the expanded data center is expected to create over 1,000 jobs. Additionally, Meta will invest over $1 billion in local community infrastructure, including roads, water, and sewage systems, and has donated $5 million to the Louisiana Delta Community College to support local job training. This move highlights the intensifying race among tech giants like Microsoft, Google, and Amazon to secure AI infrastructure. Beyond supporting its internal AI research and training, Meta is also reportedly planning a new cloud business to sell raw computing power to external enterprises. This massive scale-up underscores Meta's strategic commitment to securing the necessary computing resources for the upcoming era of superintelligence. According to Jiiji Press, the Japanese government is set to affirm its respect for the Bank of Japan's Endemenchen in its upcoming annual economic and fiscal policy guidelines. The move is seen as an effort to address growing market concerns that the administration of Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi, known for favoring monetary easing, might discourage the central bank from raising interest rates. The guidelines, which are expected to be approved by the cabinet as early as July 21st, will include a footnote referencing Article 3 of the Bank of Japan law. This article stipulates that the central bank's autonomy regarding monetary policy must be respected. In the footnote, the government plans to explicitly state that the determination of monetary policy methods and tools will be left entirely to the BOJ, based on the provisions of the law. By clarifying this stance, the Takaichi administration aims to reassure financial markets and reinforce the institutional boundaries between the government and the central bank. According to Global News, United Kingdom counterterrorism police have taken over the investigation into the death of 78-year-old former MP Anne Widdecombe. Widdecombe was found dead on Thursday with serious head injuries at her home in Dartmoor, southwest England. While local police initially stated there was no evidence suggesting a politically motivated attack, National Counterterrorism Policing Southeast announced on Monday that they are now leading the probe to establish the motive behind the incident. A 28-year-old man was arrested on Saturday in Rotherham, South Yorkshire, over 320 kilometers away from Widdecombe's residence, on suspicion of murder. Following the counterterrorism unit's involvement, the suspect has been re-arrested on suspicion of the commission, preparation, or instigation of acts of terrorism. Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood confirmed the development, noting that new information and evidence had prompted the shift in jurisdiction. Widdecombe was a highly prominent and often controversial figure in British politics for decades, serving as a Conservative MP from 1987 to 2010 before later joining the Brexit Party and acting as a spokesperson for Reform UK. Prime Minister Keir Starmer expressed profound shock over the circumstances surrounding her tragic death. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.